Welcome to the channel. It's been a while since I've done any kind of cook video. It's a little bit wet out today, so I may have an umbrella over the camera, and I'm actually under a canopy that I bought on Amazon for fairly cheap. We're gonna smoke a brisket today on the SNS Kamado. If you don't know what SNS stands for, it stands for slow and sear. I've had this bad boy for a very long time. It has served me well. I've done steaks, fajitas, all kinds of stuff on it. Today we're gonna do a brisket, but we're not just gonna do the standard way. We're going to automate this Kamado in a way. We're gonna hook up this Inkbird controller. There are all kinds of controllers out there similar to it, the Barbecue Guru, and I think the Cyber-Q or whatever it is, but these have been out for a little while. I bought this on Amazon, I don't know, I think like 120 bucks or so at the time. I don't know how much they are now. I'll put the link down below if you're interested in checking it out. But we are going to set and forget almost on this, and we'll see how it goes. I have used it in the past, and it stays fairly within range. It's usually when the wood chunks catch, they kind of put out a lot of heat, you know, when they go. And all this thing really does is it looks at the temp in the pit, and it kicks the fan on if the temp starts to drop, and then once it hits temp, it kind of backs off. So it'll start like at high speed 100%, and then as it gets closer and closer to temp, it starts dialing down the fan speed here. And it basically goes through a tube like this, and it blows air through this guy, and this goes into your air intake on your grill, and feeds that fresh oxygen to your fire. So I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna set this up. This video isn't really to just go over this. It's probably to demo this, even though this is not sponsored in any way by Inkbird. I just figured it'd be a cool toy to share with you all. So we're going to set this up right now, and we're also going to set up the grill for a 10 to 15 hour smoke on a 10-pound brisket. So let's get on it. Okay, so on the air intake vent here, you know, the SNS Kamado comes with two sliders. One to let a little air in, and one to close it off completely, or you can have it completely open like this and adjust it. We're going to, the trick to installing this little adapter plate, I noticed, is to slide this guy over like so, and then it comes with a little clip that you put on top of it like this. Kind of, you got to get in there just right. Maybe that's the other side. Actually, there should be the same, but we're going to try and get this clip on here. It's been a while since I've used it, and it's cold outside, so the metal's not as flexy as it would be in warmer temps. So what I like to do is I have it expanded like so. I push it in to the top, and then I slide it up just enough to insert it in the bottom. See if I can get it right here. Okay, like that. Then you can kind of slide it back down because it kind of grabs inside here. So then I just move it over. Might have to play with it a little bit. I slide it over like so. So it's covering those first few holes there. Then I slide this guy snug up against it. And that essentially, the only place the air can come in on your return, or intake I should say, is through the little holes that this guy blows into. So I just try to make sure it's nice and snug. You want it bumped up as close as you can there to limit any air coming in other than through this little guy. And that's all you do to hook the port up. Alright, next step is we're going to connect the hose to the controller. So I'm going to simply slide this hose. It's a very flexible silicone hose basically. And if you fudge your intake a little bit, just adjust it back to where it was. Just like that. And then this guy comes up and hooks into the top of the controller like that. So now this guy is essentially controlling the fresh air intake into your grill. I've used it before. It does a pretty good job, but I'll show y'all how well it works as well. So just make sure this is snug, because this hose dangling will try to move the plate on you a little bit. but should be good right there. You don't ever have to mess with your intakes or anything. For the top vent, I like to give it a gap right about just under the 1 mark, just so I get about a little 1/8 of an inch crack on the top here. That allows the air to come out, just like so. Okay, so let's get the charcoal and everything set up in this grill. I mean, it looks brand new, and I've had this thing for a little while. I'll do a video on the longevity and kind of go over it a little more on how well it's worn over the years. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and set this grill up for a little brisket smoke. 3 core woods I like to use when I'm smoking brisket is oak, pecan, and mesquite. And so once in a while I'll get happy and I'll, you know, put some fruit wood in there like cherry or apple. But today no fruit wood. We're just going straight hardwoods here. The base lump I'm using is an oak lump, so it is an oak wood based charcoal from B&B, just what they had on hand at my local HEB, so I'm going with it. So put a little bit of charcoal on the bottom. Just a little bit. Man, these are pretty decent pieces of wood in there, man. And yeah, anybody that doesn't know how charcoal's made, they basically get the wood so hot, at least lump coal I should say, they get the wood so hot that it off-gasses all the combustible items in the wood, leaving behind kind of a carbon. So there's your little 101 on how charcoal, lump charcoal I should say, is made. Alright, we're going to put some mesquite chunks in here. 1 mesquite piece. Just going to kind of scatter them about. I'm going to probably do, you know, probably 3 or 4 mesquite pieces and 3 or 4 pecan pieces in here. Smaller pieces are preferred. They're easier to scatter around. I'll show you this configuration closer once I'm done putting the wood and coal in. I kind of do like a layering. I will do 4 there, or 5 I should say. We got some nice pecan chunks here. Just gonna set them in there like so. Now some people like to soak their wood chunks in water. I've done that before in other videos. Not really sure I noticed a big difference. I mean, because once it gets hot in there, man, that stuff dries out so fast. Yeah. So anyways, so I've got about 5 mesquite and 4 actually, some pecan in here. I'm gonna put a little more coal on top. Okay, and then I'm gonna put a couple, like a piece of some mesquite right here in the top middle. And a piece of pecan, like so. And that's my setup. That way you get a good smolder and smoke throughout the process. When we start this grill up later, we're going to start out with a temperature of around like 200, and then we'll bump it up to about 225 thereafter. So let me bring you in for a closer look at this configuration. Alright, that's what it should look like. Brighten up the camera there for you. You should have a base of coal, followed by about, you know, 5 to 8 pieces of wood. Put a little bit more coal on top of that, and then put, you know, a couple more pieces of wood on top. And what this does is, you want to start your fire starter maybe in the corner or something, where they're away from the wood, and let that kind of get good and hot and going. And as the fire moves through, it'll start to heat up and smolder the rest of the wood. but because you're controlling the amount of air coming in through your little controller, or if you're not using a controller, you're controlling your airflow with your vents, that will still ensure that it's not getting too much air and getting out of hand. So yeah. All right, all we gotta do now is put our plate setter in, which this one's gotten quite a bit of use, as you can tell. Put it in the grill at a really, really high temp, and it will clean itself right up. So we're gonna set this right on top of the fireball edges, and this will act as our heat deflector. So the fire isn't cooking the brisket directly, it's just the smoke hitting it. Let's go ahead and put our stainless steel grates. Mine are a little dirty, but we'll give them a scrub off later. But they last forever, and if you have any kind of grill, I highly recommend you get some stainless grates because they'll last a lifetime. So yeah, full 304 stainless. The guy was not lying who makes these grills that these grates will never rust. They will not rust. So now we're all set. When it comes go time to get this thing fired up, what I'll do is I'll put the temp probe in there. I'll get a little fire going, like I said, and we'll turn this controller on and we'll dial it to about 200. And when it comes time to put the brisket on, we'll kill the fan on the device because it'll want to ramp up and blow in there once it detects the temp drop in the grill. So we'll kill the fan, put the meat on, close her up, turn the fan back on, because once you get the temp up on these Kamados, it's very hard to get it down. It's very hard. So, all right, guys, that's my setup. You see, I got my umbrella for my camera. Kind of rigged it up. Use painter's tape to hold an umbrella onto my camera tripod. But yeah, that's what we're working with. I got a little canopy I bought on Amazon, like I said, for about $100 or so. I expect I'll get a year or two out of it before I have to replace parts on it or canopy itself. But I got these little sandbags holding it down in place because I didn't want to bolt it to my deck. Just didn't want to drill any holes in my deck, so the sandbags have worked really, really well. But yeah, that's my setup for the day, and I'll tell you what, look how dry it is right there where the grill is. It's because the canopy is covering that area. It's awesome. All right, let's talk about the brisket. This particular brisket I seasoned with salt and pepper and used mustard as a binder, just your basic Dalmatian rub. Nothing extra, nothing special. I have in the past used other add-ons like garlic and chili powder, cayenne, etc., just to give a little flair to it. We're going straight beef flavor and salt and pepper on this, just like a good steak, right? So let's talk about a new toy that I bought on Amazon. Not sponsored. I just saw it. I've seen them in the past. I've always thought about getting them, and I decided to pull the plug and get it because I had some Amazon money. It's called a drip easy tub, and basically you can put the brisket in there, and I have the extra large version of it, and you can season inside of it. It doesn't get all over your counter or anything. You flip the brisket, season it up, and you don't got to worry about getting seasonings all over your countertop. It was awesome. And it also doubles as a cutting board, so you can wash it afterwards, and then when you bring your brisket in later, you can carve on it. So yeah, I thought it was really cool. And then not even that, it doubles as a marinade tub. So you can put marinade in there, put your meat in there, put it in the fridge for a while. So right now, the brisket is sitting in the fridge, in the tub, fully rubbed down, everything marinating along, just good old dry brine. So yes, I love that thing, and you do have to make some space in your fridge for it. It may not fit all fridges. It does just happen to fit my fridge perfectly fine. So it is sitting in there waiting for the pit. So I am actually going to take it straight out of the fridge and straight to the pit. It's not going to sit and come to room temperature or anything like that, because what I'm looking for, anybody who has a Kamado knows, getting a smoke ring is hard. And it's because of the time of the smoke contact and the temperature of the meat and everything. It's a chemical reaction that occurs at a certain temperature of the meat. I'm going to see if I can get a smoke ring on this bad boy, and maybe I'll get a slight one, maybe I'll get a good one, maybe I won't get one at all. But anyways, at the end of the day, it's all about the flavor, but it is also good to get that smoke ring for presentation. So we'll get the brisket on here very soon, guys. Cheers. All right, guys, it is time to get this fire going. I went ahead and took the grate off. I'm going to take the stone off here, plate setter, and we're going to get a fire started here. I'm going to go ahead and take my handy torch, And I got some tumbleweeds here. I'm going to take a tumbleweed fire starter. I'm going to set it right over here. Right about there. Just like that. Let's go ahead and get her lit. Just like that. I'm going to put my coals back over here like so. I want a couple of these coals to get lit up pretty good here, so I'm actually going to move this piece of wood a little bit away. I don't want it to smoke right away. I want to get the coals going. And that's that. So let's go ahead and put our plate setter back on. Like so. And I got two drip pans here. I'm going to set them side by side in here. I have to bend one a little bit to make it fit. All right. Now what I want to do is I'm going to fill these with water, and that'll keep a lot of moisture in the grill while the food cooks. All right, let's fill up pan number one. Two full pans of water. Let's get our grate on and get this thermometer going. Temp controller. All right, let's set the grate on there, just like so. Ta-da! This is going to act. These two pans will catch the drippings from the brisket, but it also bring moisture into the chamber. So, next step. Take my grate probe. I'm going to get it unraveled here. We will set it just here on the edge is fine. Like that. Maybe more towards the front, actually. Just like that. We'll close the grill and plug it into our controller. I'll show you that real quick. Alright, let's go ahead and take the controller here and the probe. I'm going to plug it into the first port on here. And it should say right now, it's reading about 71 or so. Okay, cool. Now, I need to get my phone. Okay, so I went and got my phone. And I got my device here. What I'm going to do here is hit the three buttons. We have the we're going to go with the 22-inch Kamado, grill temperature of 225. I'm actually going to set that to 215. And reminder temperature, let's say if it gets crazy, we're going to say alert temperature if it gets above 300. Right? Okay. So now I'm going to turn it on. I've got my setting there, target temperature. I got my setting there, target temperature 215, and alert at 300. Right now, the fan is at 100% speed right now on the controller. So, as indicated on the controller itself, you can hear it going. It shows 100 on the fan, 215 target, and present temp of 81 degrees. So it'll start to slow down as it gets closer to the target temp. So I just set it and let it go and wait for this thing to get up to temp. The only thing I can say about this device that I think they should have done a better design on for sure is the way this thing is oriented. Like I would have had the fan at the bottom that we could have it turned so you can look at it without having to look at it from an angle. Otherwise, I've used it before and it's been pretty good. I definitely wanted to demo it for everyone so you can see how it works. But we're gonna let that go and show you what's going on here. All right, I don't know if you can see it on camera too well, but we got a good bit of smoke already starting to kind of come off the top of the smoker here. If I open it up, you can see it probably better there. But I'm just gonna let it get up to temp, and then we will put the brisket on. So I'm just gonna kind of close it back, like I said, to right about the 1 on top. And I will see you guys when it's time to slap the brisket on. All right, I want to show you guys the app here real quick. So I actually ended up setting this to 200 because I remembered last time not wanting it to be too high yet, because once I open this up, it's going to let a lot of air in there, and I didn't want it to like get too hot. So right now the grill's sitting at 202, 201, fan set to 200, or the temperature set to 200. Right now this fan is not running at all. We have hit temp that I have it set to right now. Now I'm getting ready to put it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill, so you can turn it on and off. I'm killing it for now, and once I get the brisket on, I'll turn it back on. I don't want this fan kicking on when it senses that the temp drops inside the dome here, or not the dome. When it senses the temp drops in general in here, I don't want the fan kicking on. So first thing I'm going to do is I got this meat probe. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in to the Inkbird. Good. Probe number 2. All right, and it should start registering 53 degrees right now, because it's in the 50s out here. It's pretty chilly. We'll go ahead and open up the smoker. Oh yeah, nice light smoke going on. Fire's going to get a little excited here. This is my drip easy tub I was talking about earlier in the video, and man, it's great. You can store the brisket in here and everything. We got a nice Dalmatian rub on this brisket. For those that don't know what Dalmatian means, it means white and black, which is salt and pepper. And that's all we're going with for this cook. Now I'm just going to slide this guy into the fattiest part here, the point. Just get it down in there, just like that. The temperature dropped 40 degrees. It's cold in that brisket. I took it straight out of the fridge right now. I want it to soak up as much of that smoke and try to get some chemical reaction out of this as much as I can. Smoky, man. Alright, now I'm gonna let this chill out for a minute before I turn the fan back on. But we are gonna rock and roll through the night, and then we'll look at the chart tomorrow and see how the temperature swung. I'll show you here in a second what I'm talking about. Alright, so we see the barbecue temp inside dropped to like 150 degrees in there right now, and that's why I don't want to turn the fan back on yet. I kind of want it to kind of top out first, and then I'll turn it back on. But let's go look at the chart. There's a little chart icon, and you can see that big dip right there, but you can see where I started, and you can see the temp climbing and climbing, and it kind of steadies out right here, and then did a big drop when I opened it up. So it does hold the temp pretty steady, and we got a nice little stream of smoke coming out of the Kamado right now. So far this thing, I have used it before. Been a couple of times that it fluctuated a bit on me, but overall it does keep the meat and the grill temp within a decent variance, like a range, if you will, on what you set it. So got a lot of smoke starting to come out of this thing right now. We're still coming up on temp. Like I said, I don't want the fan to think that it's okay to turn on right now. I'm gonna let it balance out, and once it does, I will turn it back on. So that's it for now, y'all. I will see you in the morning, or I might do a check-in in between now and the morning, I do have to work tomorrow, but I am working from home tomorrow, so that's convenient. And I will check on this brisket in the morning. And I might look at my app in the middle of the night and see if it's worth coming out here and firing the camera up and talking. But anyways, she's going. Nice little steady stream of smoke coming out of her right now. And I'm looking at the values on the actual screen on the device here. We're sitting at 180 degrees right now. I am going to ramp this guy up to about 220 or so. And I'll probably just kick it up to 225 and just call it a night. And we'll see how much it changed. Okay guys, that's it for tonight. I'll look at my app in the middle of the night on my phone, and just because I'll stay connected to it all night long. It does connect to my Wi-Fi and everything, and this thing isn't battery powered. It actually plugs into an outlet to my house, so it's kind of like a hybrid pellet smoker auto Kamado kind of thing going on here. But and this video in no way, shape, or form was to like thoroughly just 100% endorse this Inkbird product. It's just part of the show this round. So I had never done a brisket video on my SNS Kamado, so I figured I would go ahead and do that this round, especially since I haven't put out a cook video in quite some time. So I hope y'all enjoying this video, and like I said, we'll check on the brisket and everything as time goes on, probably first thing in the morning, so probably 8 hours or so. I do have 2 water pans full of water in there to keep it kind of moist in there, and I've got the fat side up on this, so the fat kind of renders down and drips down on the meat, and we'll leave it be. I'll see you guys in the morning. Alright guys, it's about 5:30 in the morning almost, and this brisket's been on since 8 p.m. last night. We did not do a hot and fast method on this. They just cook fairly quick usually in a Kamado. You don't really have to battle the outside temps as much because they're so insulated with this ceramic. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the app real quick before I probe this thing. You can see we're sitting at about 193 on the meat. The grill's still staying around 225. Let's look at the graph real quick. I had some fluctuation here and there. I would say about 5 degree swings. I did have a few dips here and there, but the fan did kick in and kind of keep that bad boy on course. So yeah, overall it stayed well within a tolerable, like a nice nice range. So let's take a look. I'm going to kill the fan on the Kamado there. We're going to probe around. Let's take a look at this brisket. I have not looked at this brisket at all since we put it on. I did not do a wrap. I did not do anything like that. We're going to see how she's feeling probe wise, and I'm going to find it's going to beep either way because it's wanting to do 165. Oh, here we go. Well, anyways, let's turn this up. Oh man, she shrunk a lot. That point. Oh, look at that bark. Nice crust on there. The point, the flat is still a little bit has a ways to go. We're hovering about 173 on the flat. Oops, go back, go back. We still have a little ways to go. 140, 160, 160. Let's check the point. 193, 195. So here's what we're going to do. So we're going to take the probe out of the point. We're going to move it to the flat. Looking down, I can see we still have a good bit of fuel under there, but a lot of it has burned away, which is interesting. We'll see how much fuel is actually consumed on this brisket when it's done. I am going to take this brisket and wrap it in foil while I'm at it. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to take the probe out for a second. It's not dry yet, but I don't want it to get there. It's still got a nice bit of puddling going on there. So let's set it like this. What I'll do is I'll poke the probe through the foil. Guys, this smells incredible though. This brisket smells amazing. Well, let's flip it over this way. This is the flat side here. What we're gonna do, put it back on a grill. Like so. And let's take our probe. We're gonna we'll poke a hole through the foil here. Like that. Take this foil. And find that. There we go. 164, 165 on the probe. Now sometimes I have noticed your probe can read wrong. It'll read the inside temperature of the actual foil, not the meat. So you gotta make sure it's embedded in that meat just right. But there you go. Carry on wayward son. That's that for now. We'll wait till this whole thing is up to about 199 or so. And it should be good and jiggly. So close it up. And I'll let this all, like I said earlier, I'll let the Kamado kind of balance out on temp before I kick that fan back on. Alright guys, my thermometer says that the meat is at about 202 degrees, which is plenty done. Only time will tell as we let this brisket rest, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up my tub. That I have washed since I originally took the brisket out of it. I'm just going to open that for now. I'm going to take this guy. I'm simply going to set it in my tub to rest for a little bit. Put the lid on. Make sure it doesn't collapse on me here because it's trying to collapse down a little bit. But I do like this tub though, because you can prep in it, you can put your finished product in it, and you can let it rest in there. So I'm going to kill this guy, get the probes out because I don't need them in there anymore, and I will clean all this up later. Alright guys, so we have the brisket here. It's been sitting in this tub for a little bit. We're going to unwrap this thing and give it a slice and see how it turned out. One thing about this cook, we're still in the winter time. I actually did have to refuel shortly after I wrapped the brisket and put it on there again. I ended up having to go back and take everything out and put a little bit of extra coal in there because I noticed I was struggling to get back up to 225, and then when I took everything out, I realized there wasn't a lot of coal left. So this thing ate through some coal this time. I think it was because it was combating, you know, the surrounding temperatures, you know, 30 degree, 40 degree nights. But we got to the end. The flat was reading like 205 when it was done. So we're gonna take a slice and see how this thing turned out, man. Maybe we'll get a smoke ring, maybe we won't, I don't know. I've always had struggles getting smoke rings on Kamado cooks, but the food always tastes really good coming off of it. And that, at the end of the day, I guess that's really what matters, is whether you're satisfied with the flavor. So let's get into this and see how it turned out. Got my carving knife here, just gonna set it aside. Let's pop the top off this puppy. All right, there we go. Still all foiled up. Let's go ahead and collapse it. Now we got a little trough for all the juices to go where they need to go, if it's necessary. Unwrap the first wrap here. Oh, she feels like a little jello-y. Oh my God, man, that wood smoke just hit me in the face as soon as I took that layer off. Oh, look at that. Look at all that juice. This is why I foiled it. One, we hit a stall on the, ooh, look at that, jiggle, 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 jiggle. We hit a stall on the flat, but I believe when I put the probe in, we were reading like 164, 167 or something. It took a while to come out. Oh, that's really, really hot. It took a little bit to come out of that. So the foiling over and everything helped the heat build up inside, and we were able to redistribute the juices from the steaming inside the foil. So here we go, man, what a mess. It's a juicy brisket. So point, flat, let me see if I can turn it for you guys here. We're gonna go ahead and slice right down where I think the separation is. I'm just gonna cut her right about here. Oh, she cuts like butter. Oh yeah, we did not achieve the smoke ring that I was hoping to get. I have a very mild one along the bottom there, but man, look at this. She is juicy, man. That's a juicy brisket. So let's go ahead and slice up some of the flat here and see how it turned out. All right, I usually like to cut it from the corner. 1/4 inch slices. Oh man, I actually got some more smoke ring towards the middle here. Let's go down the line. Real tender, man, look at that.
All right, for all the purists out there, I'm very aware that I cut the brisket wrong. I sliced it with the grain instead of against it, and of course it looks like shredded beef. Now that being said, the rest of it I did cut off camera the right way, and then I did cut up the point as well, you know, perpendicular versus the horizontal, so they all came out the way they should have on the slices. But I'm putting this note out there for all the purists that I'm very aware that I cut that brisket wrong. So anyways, just want to put this out there. So let's get back to the video.
Let's see. Pretty bendy. Nice burnt in there. Of course, I'll try it out on camera in front of you. Not gonna not show myself trying this out. All right. So we got a burnt in there. Looks pretty good. That's really good. Wow. I should have made a brisket months ago. Look at that, man. I am a fan of the flat. I know a lot of people like the point more because it's moister and fattier and more flavor there from the fat. That's really good, man. Really, really good. It you can definitely taste the mix of the hardwoods. The oak, the pecan, that mesquite especially, man. Really, really good. I do dig this Drip Easy tub too, man. Doubling up as a, you know, a cutting board and everything. And I guess you can just put the cap back on it. You know, keep the flies off of your brisket if, you know, you're outside with it. You can just cut it and cover it, and then just tell people to take the top off and get your brisket and cover it back up. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, that wasn't sponsored. This video was not sponsored by any of the accessories in this video. These are just toys that I enjoy using. I just got the tub, but it's definitely going to get a lot of use because I have a second one as well. Put ribs, everything in there. It's pretty big. Put it in the fridge, you know. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Been a while since I've done a cooking one. Let me know if you want to see more of them. But this was fun making it. And man, I still got a good night's sleep while the brisket did its thing. I should have probably gotten up and wrapped it as soon as the point was like registered 160-ish or so. Did not affect the turnout at all though anyways. You just had more exposure to the smoke and everything. Not wrapping it. So anyways, cheers guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you soon.